With the San Francisco 49ers paying Brock Purdy, George Kittle, and Fred Warner this offseason, 49er fans are pretty happy. However, there are still NFL pundits who are doubting what the San Francisco 49ers will do in 2025. If you've listened to me on this channel, you know that I am not sleeping on the San Francisco 49ers like some are. But don't take it from me. Take it from a guy who not only calls NFL games, but has played this game at a high level, and Mark Schlareth, as he talks about how he believes some people are going to be very surprised by the San Francisco 49ers in 2025. Take a listen to what he had to say on his podcast right here.
Couple more thoughts on Brock Purdy. Over the time, his ranking among NFL quarterbacks since he took over in San Francisco, 4th in QBR, 3rd in passing yards, 1st in yards per pass attempt, and 7th in touchdown passes. So by a lot of the key stats, he's definitely one of the top 5-7 quarterbacks in all the NFL. But for San Francisco as a whole, you know, for many years there, they were able to build a roster with Brock Purdy as the quarterback because you weren't paying him anything, and right. Their roster depth, their roster talent was really good. But in anticipation of paying Purdy, I mean, these are the names who are gone from last year's team: Shavarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, Aaron Banks, Javon Hargrave, Malik Collins, Leonard Floyd, Deebo Samuel, Jordan Mason, all gone from last year's team. So is this one of those cases where, great, you paid Brock Purdy, but your window to build while your quarterback was making small money has passed? And what does that mean for San Francisco, the team, moving forward?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that's really interesting, and I had the opportunity to do a game late, you know, and to watch San Francisco over the last couple of years. And yeah, roster depth and talent was exceptional, has been exceptional for a while. But what people don't really understand is in the midst of what they were doing over the last 2 years, a couple of young guys developed into really good players. And so then you got the opportunity to say, okay, we're going to pay Brock Purdy, and it is what it is. And, you know, from just an overall cap value when it comes to the quarterbacks, he's like ranked 14th overall as in the money, in the cap money that he's going to cost the 49ers. So I think it's a manageable situation at the quarterback position. But in that, you know, Deebo is disgruntled. Deebo really has not played, you know, his best football. He has really been a declining asset since his kind of peak in 2021, I think it was, when he really exploded. And each year, 22, 23, and last year, 24, it's just been this declining scale. Plus, like, there's been issues there, right?
Right.
I mean, you saw the fights on the sideline, the issues with, you know, the kicker and the deep snapper, Pepper. So, like, there have been some issues there. Ayuk should be coming back from that ACL, that torn ACL. But in the meantime, Ricky Pearsall toward the end of the season, remember, he got shot last year as a rookie, you know, in preseason, missed most of the beginning of the season, but toward the end of the season, really developed as a good young player. And so they're excited about him. Jawan Jennings, toughness, nastiness, the ability to do multiple things and be a better kind of standalone X receiver than Deebo. Like, I think they look at Jawan Jennings and say, hey, man, that dude really, really thrived as just kind of our primary X, but he can do all the things, all the dirty work that Deebo did for us. He can do the jet sweep stuff. He can do the lineup in the backfield stuff. He can do all that. He's a tough player. He was a quarterback at Tennessee, and he's got all those skill sets. Plus, he's one of the toughest dudes on our team, and that guy really developed. So we like that guy. They re-signed George Kittle. By all accounts, Christian McCaffrey's healthy again, right? So I look at this, and this is kind of standard operating procedure in the National Football League. While our older players, you know, are like timing out, if you will, getting older and not playing as efficiently as they were and having some injuries and missing some time, we're in the process of, even in a 6-11 season or whatever it was for them. I think it was 6-11. During that time, we're busy developing young players, and they've got some really good young players that came along. So I don't think there is Like, oh gosh, what are we going to do in San Francisco as the general population is? I talked about this last year in Denver. Everybody said, oh, Denver's going to be terrible. And, they don't have their roster is bad. And I was like, whoa, just because you don't know the names on the roster doesn't mean these guys can't play football. And they showed you that I was correct. Like, they had some really good players going 10-7 and going to the playoffs. So, like, I think San Francisco is going to be one of those teams that's going to be shockingly good and really going to surprise a lot of people out there that were pundits and were like, oh, they're not going to be able to get along without Debo. They're not going to be able to get along without, all the guy Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw, the guys that you mentioned. And I just think you're going to be sadly mistaken, because I think they're a lot better with the young players than people think they are.
So again, yes, there was a lot of people who left, a lot of players, and they go down the list. And this is what is going to be discussed almost every time when people talk about the 49ers and why they won't be as good as they were in previous years. Obviously, you look at the year they had last year, it was a disaster by any stretch of the imagination. And the crazy thing about that disastrous of a year is they were still scrapping and clawing for a potential chance at the playoffs late in the season. Now, it didn't go their way, and we all saw that play out. But the 49ers, like, I look at it like this, and I'll get back to the topic about the players who have left. If you think last year is who the 49ers are and what, like, is the new normal, then I'm sorry. Like, I just don't see eye to eye with you. To me, last year was an outlier. There were so many things, starting with the debilitating Super Bowl loss, holdouts, contract drama, injuries, like one of their players getting shot. There were so many things that went wrong for the San Francisco 49ers last year. And it was really easy to see that everything that happened in the offseason just rolled into the regular season, and they could just never get out of it. You didn't have a good defensive coordinator. Your special teams was lacking. There was no sign of complimentary football anywhere. And with that list that everyone keeps naming, Talanoa Hufanga barely played last year. I love Talanoa. I'm going to miss Talanoa. However, Talanoa didn't play last year. Charvarius Ward, I love Talanoa. Yes, we made it clear. I love Talanoa. I also love Charvarius Ward. Unfortunately, Charvarius Ward isn't here, and he wasn't on the field all that much last year either. So, an unfortunate situation with him, and we understand why. But you go down the list, Jerry Greenlaw, he played, 2 quarters for the 49ers last year. So, and Debo Samuel, he is a declining player. There's no way to frame it other than that. He just isn't the same guy, and he just doesn't perform like he used to play back that got him that big time contract back in 2021. 2021 Debo Samuel was different. 2024 Debo Samuel was absolutely forgettable. And of course, you have Ayuk tears ACL in the middle of the year. They talk about Aaron Banks leaving. Aaron Banks was arguably one of our worst offensive linemen. Everyone points to McKivitz and Brendel. For whatever reason, Banks doesn't get any of that same negativity, I guess. And I don't even want to call it negativity. I just call it for what it is. He did not play well. He really struggled last year. And I already do believe the 49ers made it clear that they weren't going to pay him when they drafted Dominic Pooney. So, again, people are going to name all these players that are no longer with the San Francisco 49ers, but it's like, yeah, don't forget, Christian McCaffrey should be healthy and should be returning. Brandon Ayuk should be healthy and should be returning. So you're going to be getting guys back that didn't necessarily leave, but were just hurt for last year. They got like Hargrave didn't play because he was injured. Malik Collins, rotational defensive lineman Leonard Floyd, he was decent. He was okay. But again, it's like the 49ers have an opportunity to I would say their worst wouldn't even be as bad as it was last year, just based on all the circumstances and situations that occurred. So I look at everything heading into this season, new vibes, new kind of transitioning period for the 49ers. And I really do believe that this year will be much different than it was last year. And I don't think that they're going to struggle like everyone assumes they're going to struggle. I don't think it's going to be as easy either as maybe it has been in years past. But I do think the San Francisco 49ers, with their schedule and everything, and assuming health and their ability to get out of their own way by bringing in Robert Saleh, Brant Boyer, they are going to be a better team. But it'll be fascinating to see what the pundits have to say when it's all said and done. What do you think of what Schlareth had to say? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more.